What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. We are back with another offseason rebuild as we had our other team get eliminated out of the second round last night, and that being the Memphis Grizzlies. Before we get into today's video, guys, if you could drop it a like, and of course subscribe if you're new around here, that would be greatly appreciated. But man, oh man, is the Memphis Grizzlies future very, very bright, man. Such a bright future for the Memphis Grizzlies. They go down to the Golden State Warriors. They definitely fought hard, man. Without Ja Morant, I did not think they were going to win that game 5, and they did. They forced a game 6, but ultimately lost. Last night, I actually fell asleep during the second half, so I didn't watch the end of it, but I did watch the first half. Dillon Brooks was having a good game. I saw he finished up pretty good, but game 6, Clay showed up, of course. And they got Phoenix and Dallas and Milwaukee, Boston, game 7 on Sunday, so make sure you're tuning into that. That's going to be a lot of fun. But like I said, man, the Memphis Grizzlies roster is just in such a good spot right now with Ja Morant being on his rookie contract still, so he's still really cheap. And then you have a lot of expiring, like Steven Adams is going to be an expiring contract this offseason. Dillon Brooks is going to be an expiring contract this offseason. And then you have a lot of players on their rookie contract. So a lot of assets, a ton of assets for the Grizzlies to get better this offseason if they want to explore the trade market. So they're going to be really good this offseason. I imagine they're going to build a really good team. But the Milwaukee Bucks go on to win the championship over the Warriors in 6 games. So let's go ahead and get started, of course, like usual, like we usually do with the draft lottery. Now, this is going to be a little deceiving because it says we're getting this draft pick from the Lakers, but unfortunately, we actually are not getting it. That's actually going to go to the Pelicans, so that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So the Pacers get the number 1 overall pick, which actually makes things interesting, and then the Rockets get number 2, and Thunder get number 3. So what we are going to do is we're going to go ahead and give this pick to the Pelicans because that's where it belongs, and I think I read an article that said that this turns into 2 second-round picks, which I don't know which 2 seconds it is, but I'm just going to just grab 2 random second-round picks from the Pelicans and give them their pick back. But if we take a real quick look at the rosters, you got Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson, Desmond Bane. I mean, like I said, this roster is really good. And again, with Steven Adams and Dillon Brooks expiring contracts, I think you definitely have the ability to get like crazy this offseason and make a crazy trade and be like really good somehow. I don't know if you're able to go and get Bradley Beal or anything like that. I'm not sure that would happen, but I mean, if they could make that happen, that would be cool. But like I said, Ja Morant's on his rookie contract, so you're going to be able to get like a high salary player if you really wanted to. But we're going to get Taylor Jenkins back, of course, to be our head coach. I'm going to fill this out, and then we're going to explore the trade market and see what avenues we could take to make this Grizzlies roster complete and build this championship team together. So now that our staff is completely filled out, let's head to draft night where we have the 21st and the 28th overall picks. So what are we going to do with these picks? I mean, we could draft, obviously, or we could use these 2 picks in trades. Again, I've already brought up the idea of Adams and Dillon Brooks expiring contracts. So if we threw these 2 together, yeah, like Chris Middleton, I don't think the Bucks would do that, though. Robert Williams, Paul George from the Clippers aren't doing that either. I mean, Steve Ballmer's paid for that team, and it hasn't worked out so far. They did used to have Joe Val. Obviously, they decided to move on from him. Sadiq Bey and Jeremy Grant. So Jeremy Grant would be cool, but I don't really know you really need him. And then obviously you have OG Anunoby, but yes, the Raptors could technically do this, but I don't see that happening. And then Klay Thompson, but the Warriors aren't going to do that either. So again, the free agents you have that you could maybe go get if you really wanted to was like, Bradley Beal, Zach LaVine, but they do already have Desmond Bane at that 2 guard spot. So I don't really know if I love them going for those 2 guys. What I really want to see them do is get like a different center. Now, I don't know who that would be, but I did read an article where they brought up the idea of Rudy Gobert. Now, he would be really expensive salary-wise, but I guess he would make your front court really good defensively. Arguably, him and Jaren Jackson would be like the best front court defense for sure. I mean, that would definitely be a really nice duo there. But obviously, Rudy Gobert is a very big negative on the offensive end, so I don't know if it's really worth it. If he was like cheap to get and he didn't cost too much, maybe the Grizzlies would explore that idea. But something I kind of like for the Grizzlies to go do this offseason to replace that center spot, and also makes it more possible with the Pacers getting the 1 overall pick, which I'm sure you guys know where I'm going with this now, not being Miles Turner. If we look at Miles Turner from the Pacers, now I know he may not be available. They kind of said he wasn't at the trade deadline, but things change as we know. So if we look at the Pacers right now, and honestly, him and Jaren Jackson would still be a really good defensive front court. So that's why this would make a lot of sense. He's also not a negative on the offensive end. He could space the floor a little bit. So I kind of like the idea of Miles Turner and Jaren Jackson of a front court like that, because I think it'd be really nice. They're both very nice, good defensively, like I said. And you could throw in like Steven Adams' salary, which honestly like perfectly matches it as well. And then you could throw like either one of these picks or, yeah, because I feel like it'd probably cost a 1st round pick. So if we threw our 21st overall pick and maybe you throw in like another young player in here, or maybe you don't. Maybe they would take a flyer on Jarrett Culver, maybe, because Jarrett Culver hasn't really found a spot anywhere yet. So I kind of like the idea of maybe throwing Jarrett Culver in this trade. We could throw Santi in here as well. I mean, just some kind of young player the Pacers could take on out of a Miles Turner thing, and I think this could make a lot of sense for them. So Steven Adams, a first-round pick for Miles Turner, and they agree. So we get Miles Turner, and just like that, Miles Turner and Jaren Jackson, like I said, pairs together a really nice defensive front court, and I think he makes your team that much better. So I really love the idea of Miles Turner here in Memphis next to Jaren Jackson and John Morant and Desmond Bane. So defensively, you just got that much better as well. Dillon Brooks is another guy you could maybe explore in the trade market, making about $11 million. You have D'Anthony Melton, who's not on a terrible contract either, 24 years old. So there's definitely even more things we could do for sure. There's like even more possibilities that we can make. So let's head into the draft though. We traded our 21st overall pick to get Miles Turner. So at number 28, we have Walker Kessler on the board. We have Marjon Beauchamp here. So which I think I'm going to take Beauchamp here. I think that's how you say his name anyway, but we are happy with that selection. He's giving us 75 overall, another guard coming in. And then Jarrett Culver. It's going to be interesting to see whether or not they would accept or decline this. I could see both ways they would do this. Only reason they accept it is if they see him in a possible trade. If they decline it, then obviously they have no interest in keeping him. He hasn't really found his spot in the NBA yet. He wasn't that good in Minnesota. Obviously got traded to Memphis and is not part of the rotation. So we'll see what happens with his future and his career. But with him obviously signing that, or with him with us accepting that team option, is there a way we could make another trade is what I'm kind of wondering here. So if we look at the team right now as it sits, you have John Morant, Desmond Bane, D'Anthony Melton, which is cool. I like that a lot. Zaire Williams, I don't know how they picture Zaire Williams as maybe like a future starter, which I think maybe he could become that. Definitely shows some flashes of being pretty good. And you have John Conchara as well. You have Jaren Jackson, and then you have Miles Turner, Brandon Clark, Xavier Tillman. So definitely you could trade one of these guys as well if you wanted to. I think Brandon Clark's more of an expiring contract, but I don't know. Brandon Clark does a lot of good things. Tillman does too. So it'll be interesting to see how the Memphis Grizzlies explore that, unless if they just put them on the floor together, which I don't think they would. But I do want to explore like one more trade idea, and I'm not really sure what it would be yet, but I'm going to take a look around. And then our free agents, I guess we should look at is like Kyle Anderson and Tyus Jones. I think I do want Tyus Jones back. He played pretty good in John Morant's absence, so definitely wouldn't mind Tyus Jones back. As far as slow-mo, I feel like there's going to be a lot of contending teams lining up for him, and I think they're going to give him a bigger role. So I see Kyle Anderson leaving Memphis, but anything is possible, obviously. So, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to try to make another trade, though. I think just because we have so many assets to do so. So let's try to make another trade. So I know Raptors fans aren't going to like me for this, but what if you could get OG Anunoby from Toronto? I mean, obviously Raptors fans love OG Anunoby, and I'm sure the Raptors do too. And I'm not really sure what's going to happen this offseason with Toronto, if they're just going to keep OG and Siakam and Fred VanVleet, just run it back in a way and just grab a center. But we'll kind of see what happens. But for the sake of this video, we could throw like Dillon Brooks in this trade, and we could also throw in some more things. So let's go ahead and take a look. So obviously, maybe you throw in one of those backup centers you have with either Tillman or Brandon Clark. But I kind of like the idea of maybe throwing Brandon Clark in the trade, just because that would be another guy the Raptors could have. But at the same time, they already do have Precious Achiuwa, so I'm not really sure they would have any room for Brandon Clark. So maybe not Zaire Williams. I don't want to throw Zaire Williams in the trade, but like maybe you throw Jarrett Culver, which I'm not sure Toronto would be all that interested in him. But Dillon Brooks, Jarrett Culver, and then let's say you throw in a 2023 pick and then maybe like a 2026 pick. Would you do this if you were, Memphis, and would Toronto accept this? You get 2 picks, they get a young project in Jarrett Culver, and Dillon Brooks could be a starter right away for them. I don't know. It's just an idea. I don't think this would happen, but I think it could be fun if we made it happen. So I'm going to go ahead and offer this, and the Toronto Raptors accept. So just like that, we might have built the best defensive team around John Morant, which I love the idea of, and OG is definitely better than Dillon Brooks. So love that. On top of that, so yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I like that offseason for the Grizzlies. Now, it's nothing crazy. We didn't go for a star like I said they potentially could go for if they do explore that avenue, but I still like it a lot. One thing I guess you could do, throw Brandon Clark at power forward, which I'm not sure I would love these two guys on the floor together, but maybe you stagger their minutes a little bit. But we kind of have a full rotation now with John Morant, Desmond Bane, OG Anunoby, Jaren Jackson, and Miles Turner. I mean, that team is pretty damn good, and they're going to be able to switch everything too on top of that. So good. It's going to be really good defensively. Miles Turner goes down in overall. D'Anthony Melton does too. And then we have Tyus Jones going down overall, which is unfortunate. But again, I still like this a lot. I think this team could definitely be interesting in the West. With those two additions, defensively and offensively, I love those two additions for the Memphis Grizzlies. And like I said, they would easily be able to do it too. They have so many assets, expiring contracts. The Grizzlies are in such good shape right now. They really are, man. So let's go take a look at our rotation and see what this looks like all together. So after exploring that, or after making all those trades, this is what our rotation looks like. So it's Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, OG Anunoby, Jaren Jackson, Miles Turner, Brandon Clark, Xavier Tillman, D'Anthony Melton, and Zaire Williams. So I kind of like that a lot. So this is going to be a very, very good rotation. If we look at our proficiency, I wonder if defense would be like 4.5, because all these guys are really good defensively. And no, it'd only be 3. I guess Desmond Bane, they don't consider to be that good. So that makes sense. But let's go and let's just stick at balance because it's a 4-star system fit. And then one thing I do want to take a look at as well is shot tendencies. Ja Morant is obviously definitely good there. I want Desmond Bane to be like a 78 or 80. And then OG Anunoby, same thing. I kind of want him to be like an 80 as well. And then Miles Turner to go like 60, something like that. So, and then, yeah, I think I like that. So our starting 5 should be really good. We should be a really good team. I love these moves for the Grizzlies. If they're able to pull something like this off, they'd be really scary. I mean, it's nothing like, it's not getting a Zach LaVine or anything like that, but getting OG and Miles Turner who would fit perfectly here, I would be scared of this team. I would be. Just saying. So at the end of the season, my boy Luka Doncic wins MVP once again. That's kind of the usual thing here. And then Jabari Smith Jr. is a rookie of the year on the Indiana Pacers. So with the #1 overall pick for the Pacers, which I forgot to mention this, I feel like they would definitely have like, they'd be more willing to trade Miles Turner if they got the #1 overall pick because they're going to get another big man, obviously. But they could technically just have like Jabari and Miles Turner just play together in the front court, which is still a thing. Wow, my Portland Trailblazers let Anthony Simons go to the Spurs. Okay, I'd be pissed if that happened in real life. But T-Style, Defensive Player of the Year, averaging 2 points per game, but we know what he brings on the defensive end. And Chua is your most improved player. Taylor Jenkins, your coach of the year. We went 57-25, so things worked very, very well for us. And then here's your NBA first team with Ja Morant making it alongside Luka Doncic. Ja Morant's going to get a fat extension this offseason, especially making All-NBA first team after that. He was really good in all avenues, but Jason Tatum, LeBron, and Embiid joins them. Here's your All-NBA second team, All-NBA third team. And I wonder if we have any all-defensive players, and we do not. It doesn't look like. But I think we were, I want to see if we were good defensively. I feel like we should have been, but I don't know. So if we go take a look at the standings real quick, and then we look at points allowed. Yeah, I think we were low there. Points allowed per game. Yeah, we were second, which is nice. So, and then offensively, we were the best. So we were literally second defensively, and offensively we were the best, which is nice. So we were a really good team, obviously. We go take a look at our player stats and kind of see how this looked for us. We had, I guess we were the second seed. I thought we were the first seed for some reason, but 33 points from Ja Morant, 21 from Desmond Bane, 16 from Jaren Jackson, only 14 from OG Anunoby, 10 from Miles Turner, 9 from D'Anthony Melton, 8 from Tillman, 7 from Brandon Clark, 6 from Zaire Williams, and only 0.3 from Tyus Jones. But so far, I love this roster, like I said, and we should be a championship contender here. So let's see who we get to play. We get to play the Portland Trailblazers. So we're going to have to put my boy Damian Lillard down. Sorry, my boy. You got Jaden Ivey, which I'd be pissed. I guess that's why they let Anthony Simons man this team. If the Blazers waltzed in with this team next year, I'm just not even watching the NBA because this is not good. They let Nurkic and Simons walk, and they drafted Jaden Ivey and then just signed like Maxi Kleber and called it good. I guess they signed Oladipo as well. Yeah, this is not good, Portland. Please don't do this. But let's go. Somebody turn around against. If we lose to this team, by the way, I'm going to be freaking livid. There's no way we should lose to the Portland Trailblazers here. We're up 3-2, and we beat them in 6. Thank you. I was about to say, no way we lose to them. Okay, now I can play the San Antonio Spurs, who have DeJounte, Lonnie Walker. As we know, they have Anthony Simons as their 6th man. They also drafted Jalen Duran, so this could be a tough matchup. Let's see what happens. Game 1, we're up 1-0, 128-110. Ja Morant dropped a triple-double on them. We're up 2-0. Can we go up 3-0? Yes, we can. And if we beat them in 4, we do. And of course, we're probably going to get the Pelicans here. And we do. So it's the Pelicans versus the Grizzlies, which was what we usually see anyway. This is going to be a tough matchup. They have CJ McCollum, Johnny Davis, Ingram, Zion, Joval. So yeah, not going to be an easy matchup. Let's see what happens. Game 1. We're down 1-0. We got beat by 33 points. Not a good look. Game 2. We're down 2-0. Can we win one game? No. It looks like the Pelicans are going to absolutely thrash us here, which is so unfortunate because I thought we had the roster to get it all together, but that is not the case at all. So let's see if I can come back here. Don't know if that's going to work. Come back from a 3-0 deficit or at least win one game. Not looking good, and we are going to get bounced out by the Pelicans in 4. So we lose the Pelicans in 4 games. But we can run it back one more time. I like the roster we put together. The only thing I'm nervous about, if you watched the Chicago Bulls video the other day, at this point, some point in this offseason, this game kept crashing on me. So if it crashes, wow, man, look at the Thunder. They have 3 picks in the lottery. That's insane. They have number 2 overall, and then they have number 10. That's kind of crazy. And I don't even think we have a pick because we traded it to the Raptors, obviously. So that's fine. We're going to leave that all the same. Let's go to the draft. And on draft night, if this game crashes on me, I'm ending the video. Just saying, by the way. I mean, we got to the Western Conference Finals. I'll take that. I'm not making all these moves over again like I had to do the other day. Hopefully it doesn't crash, because if it does, I'm just going to be super upset. But I'm just going to go straight past to rookie signing. I'm not going to worry about the second round picks in the draft. We'll sign them, and we'll be fine with that. Player options, I'll accept John Conchar. Why not? And then this is where I'm a little nervous. Qualifying offers. And oh my goodness, it's a miracle. It did not crash on me. Let's go. Okay, we have Miles Turner and Brandon Clark, who are both free agents. So Miles Turner, I'm going to go ahead and offer him an extension. Honestly, this extension wouldn't be that expensive either. And then John Morant, obviously, we're going to match that. There's no reason to let John Morant walk. So probably just going to run it back with the same roster, really. But we might be able to get like another good player here, Royce O'Neal, but I'll be fine with just getting like Brandon Clark back, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't know if I love Xavier Tillman and Clark together, obviously, off the bench, but since it's 2K, it doesn't matter all that much. I'm just going to go ahead and give Brandon Clark a 3-year extension and bring him back to Memphis. He fits the culture really well. And then I guess my boy Royce O'Neal, you guys know I love him as a 3-and-D wing. He's usually easy to get in 2K, so I'll just sign him as well, just in case. But let's go to player progression and kind of see how it treats us this year. So Jaren Jackson's up to an 88, and no one's going down, which is a good sign. So let's just go ahead and run it back one more time, see if anything changes in the second season. I have a good feeling with this roster being together for another year. We should be able to gel a little bit more, and we should be able to take down the Pelicans this time around. So at the end of the season, Luka Doncic wins MVP once again, this time averaging 40 points per game. So it's kind of insane, obviously. But this year, we weren't as good. We only finished up as the 6th seed in the West, and hey, we get to play the Pelicans in round 1 again. That's nice. So if we look at the player stats, 32, 18, 17, and then 11 from OG, 9 from Zaire Williams, 8 from Miles Turner, and then 8.5 from Marjan, who got in the rotation as well this year. So yeah, really unfortunate that we were only the 6th seed, but we'll see what happens here. We get to play the Pelicans. They beat us pretty badly last year, and with Johnny Davis getting better, I'm not really sure how it's going to go this year. So game 1, we're up 1-0, so that's a good start. Zion dropped 32, but John Morant responded with 39. So already better than last year. We won 1 game at the very least, but they evened it up. They are up 2-1, and we're going to lose to the Pelicans, aren't we? No, not yet. 3-2. Okay. If we force a game 7, it's anybody's ball game, but unfortunately, we'll have to go to New Orleans to beat them. And let's see if we can do just that. And we are going to maybe do it, and it doesn't look good for us. So this is the Pelicans. They're going to eliminate us unless we come back here, and yeah. Oh! Wow. Okay, game 7. I thought we for sure lost, but hey, we're going to a game 7. We're not done yet. Let's get it. Game 7 in New Orleans. That was a interesting win there. We won at like the very end, but I'll take it. Can we go ahead and win game 7? 2K, you're doing miracles, bro. All right, 2K, I love you for that. We went and beat the Pelicans in 7, and now we get the Portland Trailblazers again, who have the same roster, don't they? Dude, we're not losing to them. Please do not lose to the Portland Trailblazers. If we lose to Portland, like I said, I don't like that roster for Portland at all, and we beat them in 5. Let's go. Okay, we're on. All right, let's go. We are on to the Western Conference Finals. I thought for sure we were eliminating round 1, but you know what? That's fine. We get to play Utah now, who have Donovan Mitchell and Gobert and Slow-Mo. Slow-Mo's here to get his revenge for not re-signing him. Game 1, we're up 1-0. Game 2, we're up 2-0. We're up 3-0, and we're in the finals. Let's go, baby. That's exactly what I wanted. And hey, Miles Turner versus his former team. They grabbed Joval. Okay, that's a really nice pickup for them. But it's Tyrese Halliburton, Jabari Smith Jr., which that duo in itself, it's really interesting. We'll see what happens. Game 1, we're up 1-0, 114-106. John Morant versus Halliburton. That would be entertaining. They even it up. We're up 2-1, though. Can we go up 3-1? Yes, we can, and we beat them in 5. Let's go. We won a championship with the Memphis Grizzlies, man. That is freaking awesome. I do want to go ahead and extend a offer to you guys next week with the Memphis Grizzlies. If there's a certain star you would love to see on the Memphis Grizzlies, you want me to do a rebuild around it, I am down. I don't know who it would be, but if there's a certain guy that you're like, and make it realistic, don't say Giannis Antetokounmpo on the Grizzlies, because it's not going to happen. But if there's anybody else you guys have in mind, like I guess Bradley Beal could be an interesting option for them to go get, or just let me know. If you have any idea, next week we could kind of do a rebuild around it, because I think that'd be a lot of fun. And I feel like there was definitely an avenue where I could have maybe, just maybe, traded for like a superstar with the Grizzlies, because they have a lot of assets to do it. But thank you guys for watching. Drop a like if you did enjoy the video. But this is Crushables. I'm saying Peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.